This is Griffdog here, and ladies and gentlemen, we have finally made it. Part 8, or Part 7.2, of What If Dale Earnhardt is Still Alive is finally here. It has been a trip, but it's been a good one, and thank you guys so much for coming with. If you guys don't know the drill, here's the deal. I will discuss and theorize every driver, number, and sponsor change that has happened from 2014 to 2016. Also, I will show the highlights from each Daytona 500 from those respected years. And before we get started, I do have a quick announcement. In mid-December, I will make one more video, and in this video, I will summarize the entire Dale Earnhardt series. And I will respond to all of your questions and concerns from the previous comments. And not just this video, but in all previous videos beforehand. Alright, well, the time is finally here, so let's get started with 2014. So, 3 things to know from 2014. First of all, just like 2012, the race is postponed to nighttime due to rain. Only this time, it's still raced on Sunday instead of being postponed to Monday. There is another Earnhardt making his debut in the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series, and his name is Jeffrey Earnhardt. We will talk more about him in the starting lineup. And then finally, NASCAR made a big announcement, and it's called the Big 5. There are 5 new rules that NASCAR is debuting, and it is as so. First of all, more downforce, so they're going to expand the splitter out, and they're going to make the spoiler much higher. So they'll be like Indy cars, only they'll still break into corners in intermediate tracks and road courses and short tracks. Another rule is they're going to have an automatic caution with 20 to go. With this caution, no blown tires or mysterious debris cautions will come in, and NASCAR throws this in to make more drama for the finish of every NASCAR race. There is a new chase format, and I'm not going to explain this one too much because it's the current one that we have right now. The rounds, and if you win, you're in. It's literally the same thing. There's only one attempt at a green-white checkered finish, and that is for safety concerns. Finally, NASCAR has implemented a push-to-pass system, just like what they have in the IndyCar series. And so, with the exception of super speedways, because the cars race so close anyway, super speedways are out of the mix here. However, on all other tracks, each car will have 20 push-to-pass attempts, and they'll get a quick burst of speed so that they can possibly pass the car in front of them. So those are new rules. We'll see how that affects NASCAR. And now here's the starting lineup for the delayed 2014 Daytona 500. Starting on the pole is a shocker. Kevin Harvick moves over from Richard Childress Racing to Stewart-Haas Racing. They now expand from a 2-car to a 3-car organization. To the outside is Joey Logano in the 22. Ryan Newman moves over from Stewart-Haas and goes over to RCR, so a little bit of a switch off. Newman moves over to the ride that AJ Allmendinger was in the 31 Caterpillar Chevrolet. To the outside of him is Jimmy Johnson in the 48 Lowe's Chevrolet. Kyle Busch will start 5th, and Brad Keselowski will start 6th in the Miller Lite Dodge. Jeff Gordon will start 7th, and Matt Kenseth will start 8th. Dale Earnhardt Jr. in the 8 Bass Pro Shop Chevrolet, and Brian Clausen in the 40 car for Chip Ganassi. Target will come over and sponsor that car. Denny Hamlin will start 11th, and here's the man of interest. Jeffrey Earnhardt, son of Kerry Earnhardt, has come over to Richard Childress Racing in the new number 81 Cessna Bell Helicopter Chevrolet. Carl Edwards will start 13th, and a rookie in 14th. Kyle Larson replaces Juan Pablo Montoya, who goes back to the IndyCar Series, and he is also a Rookie of the Year contender. Trevor Bayne will start 15th, and Brian Vickers is in 16th. Jeff Burton has announced this year that this will be his final year in the Sprint Cup Series before he calls retirement as he drives the new black Coca-Cola 3 Chevrolet. And Jeremy Mayfield returns to number 88 ride for Robert Yates Racing. Marcus Ambrose in the Stanley Tools 44 Dodge, and his teammate Eric Almirola will start 20th. Martin Truex Jr. jumps over from Michael Waltrip Racing to Furniture Road Racing 78 Chevrolet. And David Stremme returns to the 6th Valvoline Ford, Jamie McMurray in the 1 McDonald's Chevrolet, and Ricky Stenhouse Jr. in the 17. Fifth Third Bank will sponsor that car just for Daytona and a few other races. Casey Mears will start 25th, and another rookie, Austin Dillon in the 33 American Ethanol Cheerio Chevrolet. Casey Kane in the 5 car, as GoDaddy is going to continue to sponsor that car for a couple more seasons. And Greg Biffle in the 16. Kurt Busch starts 29th, and alongside him, Clint Boyer in the 15. AJ Allmendinger moves over from RCR to JDD Daugherty Racing, and alongside him, Tony Stewart in the Mobil 1 Chevrolet. Landon Castle is a new sponsor. Mountain Dew will come aboard the 25 Chevrolet, and David Gilliland takes over the 38 Ford. David Reagan returns to the 34 Ford, and Reed Sorensen in the 36 Golden Corral Chevrolet. Getting to the rear now, Michael Lynette in the Flying J pilot car for Tommy Baldwin Racing. He will also be a Rookie of the Year contender. And James Busher moves over to BK Racing. Ryan Truex, Martin Truex Jr.'s brother, is going to be in the former 39 team. He will also be a Rookie of the Year contender. And Jeff Green, former Busch Series champion, has a new life here at BK Racing. It is a 1-year deal just to get some veteran experience for that team. Bobby Labonte in the 3rd team, replacing Martin Truex Jr. and Michael Waltrip Racing. And Jury Nadeau in a part-time deal for BK Racing. Rounding out the rear is Dave Blaney, as Tommy Baldwin attempts a 3rd full-time team for Dave Blaney. As usual, here is the start and first lap to the 2014 Daytona 500. Jump to lap number 6. We have tight racing from first all the way to 43rd. This high downforce package is really keeping all the cars close together. On lap 15, Casey Mears gets in the back of Almirola wrong and almost spins him in turn 2, almost causing a big crash. Because of this, Marcus Ambrose gets a strong run to the outside and will pass his teammate for the lead for the moment. Same story, new lap. Lap 18, Kurt Busch gets into Casey Kane wrong. Casey Kane goes into the grass, but he saves it, and they almost get it into a big crash. But because of this, look how absolutely jumbled up the field is. All 43 cars are together in one pack, and anything can happen here. You see it, and oh, we got trouble! Turn number 3, Casey Mears, Matt Kenseth, Jeff Byrne, and a load of other cars involved. This is the big one here at Daytona. One car upside down, that is Jeremy Mayfield, former Daytona 500 winner, upside down. Ricky Stenhouse is involved, lots of cars out. Joey Logano, heavy damage. Ryan Newman, heavy damage. And you just hate to see this early in the going in any race. Marcus Ambrose is lots of damage to his car. Trevor Bayne, Michael Annett. Harvick, Edwards, Harvick, the pole sitter, heavy damage, he's taken out. So as we see some of the replays here, Casey Mears, he gets a tap from, I believe, McMurray, and that takes him to the outside wall, taking out Ryan Newman, Tony Stewart, and Jeff Burton in that nice black paint scheme. Unfortunately, he will not win another Daytona 500. On board with Jeremy Mayfield as he goes upside down. Unfortunately, it just all clogs up, and I believe it was Kyle Larson who picked up Jeremy Mayfield and flipped him over. Kyle Larson ends up riding on top of Mayfield's car when he was upside down. One more slow motion look as Denny Hamlin wasn't behind Jeremy McMurray, but Hamlin lows down, and just like the previous moments where they bump him incorrectly, except this time, McMurray puts Kane into another car. Johnson clips Logano. Logano spins in the middle of the pack. And that ends up sending at least 15 cars behind the wall. Dale Jr. got some air as well, but he did not flip over. So a massive, massive crash here, taking out lots of cars, and that is definitely going to change up the complexity of this race. They did red flag the race for 20 minutes to clean up all the debris, but it was pretty quick as they go back right into the action. On lap 26, Denny Hamlin was your leader, McMurray second, Kurt Busch third, Martin Truex fourth, and Landon Castle runs fifth. Lap 30, Kurt Busch jumps in the lead with Brad Keselowski and Kyle Busch following suit on the low side. On lap 39, the pace slows down, but Jeff Gordon picks it up as he goes into the lead. Green flag pit stops begin on lap 42, and Jeff Gordon remains the leader. So with all sets of pit stops, that spreads the field out. And so the top four spread apart in their own little group. More green flag pit stops, lap 85, as Jeff Gordon continues to lead, but he did have a poor pit stop this time, and he is relegated to outside the top 10. He battles in a second pack along with Kurt Busch, David Sturmey, Denny Hamlin, and a couple other drivers. Jamie McMurray, I believe, was like in 6th spot when that happened, and that is not good for that team for the moment. And we got problems. Turn number 3, Reed Sorensen, Ryan Truex, and I believe that's Shuri Nadu also around in turn number 3. There's quite a bit of damage there, but no one does go behind the wall. Quick onboard shows that Shuri Nadu was run slow because he was involved in the big crash. And because of that, Sorensen and Ryan Truex had nowhere to go, and so they are relegated to the back of the field. Another set of pit stops, and Jamie McMurray leads him off pit road. David Sturmey will be second, Clint Bowyer third, Clint Bowyer's teammate Bobby Labonte fourth, Kurt Busch fifth. Denny Hamlin jumps to the high side as he is currently in 6th. Lap 120, Clint Bowyer, with the help of his teammate Bobby Labonte, jumps right to the lead. Field begins to spread out a little bit as Martin Truex was able to get around Clint Bowyer for the lead, and Reed Sorensen did stay on the lead lap the entire time, so he is running in 3rd at the moment. Lap 142, big switch up in the lead as Jeff Gordon and AJ Allmendinger make their way up to the front in that 4-car breakaway. Green flag pit stops happen again on lap 152 as Martin Truex leads him down on pit road this time. And when they came back out, another 4 cars break away for the lead. The 20 to go caution comes out on lap 180, and that puts everyone together for hopefully a dramatic 15-lap dash to the finish. Now, in this final set of pit stops, notice that Martin Truex and Clint Bowyer did not pit. Michael Linda was a lap down, but Martin Truex and Clint Bowyer did not pit. Everybody else did, and it'll be interesting to see if that strategy pulls off. Lap 185 is the restart. Can Martin Truex and Clint Bowyer hold off with the worn tires? Denny Hamlin 3rd, Reed Sorensen 4th, Jeff Gordon in 5th. Here are the final 3 laps of the 2014 Daytona 500. As we mentioned before, Denny Hamlin, he has fresh tires, but Martin Truex does not. As we're on board with Martin Truex here, there's still a big pack behind, so anybody can still win this. That's in the pack, of course. But right now, the top 4 have pulled away because they are single file. Everybody else is 2 and 3 wide behind. Eric Almirola, he is the leader of the second pack right now, but David Gilliland does not want to line up, and he goes underneath Eric Almirola for the 5th position. Still single file up front. Can Martin Truex get his first ever Daytona 500 win? Can McMurray possibly get his second? Because remember, he won in 2012. How about the rookie, Ryan Truex, underneath Denny Hamlin? 2 laps to go now. It's 3 cars on the inside, Hamlin on the high side, and because they are side by side, how about 3 wide as Jamie McMurray goes underneath Ryan Truex? Because they are 3 wide, that is an invitation for all the cars in the back to come back up, and it'll be 1 pack once again. Martin Truex begins to pull away, though, by 2-3 car lengths. But, as you know, in restrictor plate racing, that is not a good thing. Here comes David Gilliland, right underneath Denny Hamlin. Hamlin moves low, all the way to the bottom now. as Martin Truex continues to pull away, but for how long? Here comes David Gilliland to the inside. David Gilliland underneath McMurray and Ryan Truex. That goes up to the third spot. And how about David Stremme, already a two-time winner of the Daytona 500? Could he get his third in a row? Coming off of turn number 4, Stremme now to the inside of David Gilliland. Denny Hamlin goes to block Stremme. Martin Truex has one lap to go here in the 2014 Daytona 500. Denny Hamlin, there we go, to the inside. How about David Stremme, 3 wide? Denny Hamlin could not block David Stremme quick enough, and now he has help from James Buescher in the 23 car. Former teammate of James Buescher is Jamie McMurray in the 1 car. Not anymore. Here comes McMurray to the inside of Buescher. David Stremme is sticking to the high side. He believes Buescher is the more powerful car. But can McMurray get a push from Jeff Gordon, who is now behind Jamie McMurray? Through turn 3, going through out to hit turn number 4. Bobby Labonte is back. Here he is in 5th. Could he be of any help at all? But it looks to be all David Stremme right now. Coming off of turn number 4, and it looks like David Stremme will be a 3-time winner of the Daytona 500. Congrats to David Stremme and that entire team as he wins the Daytona 500. Jamie McMurray, 2012 winner, finishes 2nd. Jeff Gordon comes close in 3rd. Bobby Labonte finishes 4th, and Brad Keselowski ends up finishing 5th in the 2014 Daytona 500. Here are 3 things you need to know for 2015. First of all, a brand new team has come along for the ride, H. Scott Motorsports. They originally planned to go in 2014, but they wanted to build their resources better, and now here they are with a 2-car team come 2015. The second big news is that Jeff Gordon is going to retire after 2016. In real life, he was retired after 2015, but Gordon has signed a 2-year extension while they develop their next driver, Chase Elliott, for another 2 years. And finally, let's talk about the strike. So you remember the 5 rules that NASCAR implemented in 2014? That was the last straw for Dale Earnhardt. He cannot take all of these dramatic changes that NASCAR is pulling in, and so because of that, Dale Earnhardt is boycotting NASCAR. And not just himself. His team, and he inspired 8 other teams to do the same, including Jack Roush, Roger Penske, and Richard Petty. So what is happening now is that these teams are boycotting NASCAR and are waiting until Brian France or NASCAR makes some big significant change for them to make it reasonable. These teams put together a little coalition and they demand that racing be put back in the driver's hands. They don't want NASCAR to script this up and be like this huge dramatic event that happens every single week. They want the drama to happen on the track, not have it be pre-scripted. Now because of this causes a little divide in half. Because while those 9 teams are against what NASCAR is doing, Rick Hendrick, Robert Gates, and Tony Stewart still support NASCAR. They believe this is a positive step in the right direction to get that youth movement going on. Despite having this divide, NASCAR is going to continue on with the 2015 season, despite having one of the lowest counts in recent memory for cars on the racetrack. So these teams are holding out until NASCAR retracts its recent rule changes or does something to compensate for these, what they believe is to be unnecessary changes to quote-unquote make NASCAR better. Alright, so with that being all said, let's take a look at the lineup for the 2015 Daytona 500. Starting on pole once again is the 4 of Kevin Harvick, and alongside with is Jimmy Johnson in the 48 Lowe's Chevrolet. Landon Castle will start 3rd in the Mountain Dew 25 Chevrolet, and Kurt Busch will start 4th. Ryan Truex will start in the 5th position, and Jeff Gordon in 6th, and as mentioned before, he will retire after 2016. Martin Truex Jr. will start 7th. Alongside him is Casey Kane. This will be GoDaddy's final year as a sponsor. Carl Edwards has switched rides in 2015. Carl Edwards decided to leave Roush because he knew that Roush Racing was in support of boycotting the series, but Carl wanted to race. So we jump on board with the new H. Scott Motorsports, and it will drive the new number 52 Stanley Tools Dodge. And alongside him is Kyle Larson, the 42 Target Dodge. Casey Mears will start in the 11th spot. Alongside him, Jeremy Mayfield. And it could be because of this boycotting, striking deal, but Jeremy Mayfield has announced that this will be his final year in the Sprint Cup Series before he decides to retire. Alex Bowman will move over to the 7 car in 2015, and alongside him, Tony Stewart in the 14 car. Tony Stewart almost went whiff on the strike, but he decided to stay in it because simply there's less competition for him and that team to take on. Justin Allgaier will start 15th. He is a Rookie of the Year contender. And to the outside of him, Stephen Light. Stephen replaces Brian Clausen in the 40 car, who decided to go back to dirt racing, where he gets more enjoyment. Matt DiBenedetto moves over to the 83 car, replacing Jeff Green. He is also a Rookie of the Year contender. And AJ Allmendinger returns to the 47 ride. Josh Wise with Premium Motorsports will make their debut at the Daytona 500, and JJ Gailey moves over to the 23 car for 2015. Jeb Burton, son of Ward Burton, moves over to BK Racing as well in a new 26 Toyota. He is a Rookie of the Year contender as well. Michael Annett moves over to the new 46 Flying J Pilots Chevrolet. This car is fueled by Johnny Davis, the same team that has the 0, 01, and 4 cars in the Xfinity Series. Michael McDowell makes his debut with the 95 car at Daytona, and Reed Sorensen with a new team, RAB Racing. They make their team debut at Daytona. And rounding out the rear in this very small field, Bobby Labonte moves to the 32 car for Go Fast Racing. And finally, Ron Hornaday in the 30 car with another new team, the Motorsports Group. Here is the start and the first lap to the 2015 Daytona 500. Jumping up to lap 8 right now, new teams experience what it's like to be in the front of the field, including Premium Motorsports, Go Fast Racing, RAB Racing. Ryan Truex takes the lead on lap 15, and he looks to have a strong car in this year's race. On lap 30, Jimmy Johnson returns to the front of the field. Green flag pit stops begin on lap number 40, and everybody makes their trip down pit road. Because of pit stops on lap 45, the field begins to break apart, and because there's not as many cars on the track, this could be a long green flag run. Kevin Harvick takes over the lead on lap 51 as we still have that little 9-car pack. Harvick has one of the stronger cars in today's race. On lap 54, the first car falls a lap down. That is Casey Mears in the 13. He lost all draft, and now he is going to fall one lap down. Lap 82, we see more pit stops going to take place as Kevin Harvick, Michael McDowell, and Reed Sorensen all make their way down pit road. On lap 89, Josh Wise was one of the bigger surprises in this year's race as he takes and maintains the lead so far. Our first problem happens on lap 96 as Stephen Light cuts down a tire, but there is no signs of debris on the track and thus no caution comes out. Lots more green flag racing as they keep going around circle after circle after circle and still no caution. Another set of green flag pit stops, and this time Casey Kane has found his way to the front. Casey Mears is still one lap down as AJ Allmendinger now is in second and Tony Stewart in third. Green flag pit stops happen again as cars are absolutely spread out this time. It does not go all the way because NASCAR has that mandated 20 to go caution, which happens to be our first caution of the race. On lap 183, the final pit stops take place, and AJ Allmendinger is able to get off pit road first, and he will restart in the lead. On 185, Allmendinger is the leader, Michael McDowell second, Josh Wise third, and we have a bunch of hungry cars right behind. As NASCAR wanted it, we got close racing for the win here on lap 192. Ryan Truex giving Michael McDowell a huge shove to the lead. Jeff Gordon trying to hold on, but that run is way too strong as they go into the lead 1-2. And into the wall. Jeff Gordon into the wall. Allmendinger is involved as we have the big one here in turn number 2. Lots of cars involved. Jimmy Johnson, Casey Kane, Tony Stewart, Kurt Busch, heavy front end damage to his car. And a big mess happens in turn number 2. All this drama has taken place. Gordon is going to go behind the wall. Josh Wise and AJ Allmendinger, plenty of damage. Here are some replays. Allmendinger gets in the back of Josh Wise. Casey Kane, lots of front end damage to his car. Tony Stewart, a little bit of damage. It'll be interesting to see how this will affect the rest of the race, because there's already not many cars in, only 26, and so this is going to take out like 8 or so. So it's almost like the Bud Shootout or Sprint Unlimited. Johnson, Matt Benedetto. Jimmy Johnson does keep going, he only just spins, so not much damage on his car. On lap 196, we do have our restart. Michael McDowell is still your leader, Ryan Truex in second, but anything can still happen here these final 4 laps. Here are the final 2 laps to the 2015 Daytona 500, as Michael Lynette with that brand new team goes and Jimmy Johnson, very strong car. Casey Mears, he is back on the lead lap, he did get the lucky dog, and now Mears has a shot at the win. Here comes Jeremy Mayfield. This is his final year in the Sprint Cup Series before calling it quits. Could he win the Daytona 500 in his final year? Ryan Truex right behind Mayfield as Michael McDowell underneath 41 of Ryan Truex. Could McDowell pull off a huge upset for him and that team? Jeremy Mayfield, he breaks away from Ryan Truex as he's going to go down now and block Michael McDowell. A couple of Stewart-Haas cars to the inside. Kevin Harvick and Tony Stewart giving McDowell a good shove through turn number 4. As we are going to have 1 lap to go to determine the winner of this year's Daytona 500. McDowell goes high, Mayfield goes low, Harvick down through the middle, Tony Stewart down low. Jeb Burton in the 26 following Tony Stewart now. Through turn number 1, Jeremy Mayfield, he goes low, and he blocks Tony Stewart for the moment. Stewart and Mayfield are second and first respectively. Kyle Larson going through the middle. Could Larson do anything about it? Tony Stewart goes high, Jeb Burton stays low. Can Mayfield go down to block Jeb? Jeremy Mayfield has only half a lap, and he will win the 2015 Daytona 500. The Stewart-Haas cars are together again. Can they make a push to the front? As second place now is 3 wide, and that is exactly what Jeremy Mayfield wants to see. Here they come after turn number 4. Martin Truex does get around for the second position. Bobby Labonte tries to get third, and it won't be enough. Jeremy Mayfield will come off the front straightaway and will win the 2015 Daytona 500. So in Mayfield's final season, Jeremy Mayfield wins, Martin Truex Jr. finishes second, Bobby Labonte third, Matt DiBenedetto fourth, and Josh Wise finishes fifth. So for this year, I'm going to do something special. This year, I will talk about all the winners and, for the most part, what happened this year. Because I believe what happened in this year is so crucial to the story arc of my theory of what if Dale Earnhardt is still alive. So to start things off, attendance has dropped dramatically. So many of those key hierarchy teams have left, and because of that, there's no interest in the sport. The only people that are there are the ones in the campgrounds, just because at the beginning of the year they bought those reserved spots, so they might as well take it. But unfortunately, we've had races, all the races have been at minimum 24 cars, and the highest driver entry count was 30, and that was for the Brickyard 400. But because of this, we have this unbelievably down turnout, and as you would guess it, Brian France starts to worry and panic. Because Brian was very convinced that this is the right way to go. Brian believes that there needs to be that drama, that intense action, and he believes that since the drivers are not putting that on, NASCAR as a whole needs to push that in themselves. But that is just a huge turn away for the fans. And so, because of this, NASCAR has absolutely in a very not so good situation. But the good news is there are some upsides to this. And the big thing is we had quite a few first-time winners. Couple examples. Matt DiBenedetto won the first New Hampshire race in the 83 car, and that is the first win for BK Racing. Ryan Truex got his first career win at the Spring Richmond race for the Haas 41 team. Michael McDowell, the Arizona native driver, got his first career win at Phoenix in the fall. And Kyle Larson got his first of 2 wins in 2015 at the Day Bristol race. Here's your full list of winners from 2015. And as you would guess it, as you saw who the winner at Homestead was, Jimmy Johnson won the 2015 Sprint Cup Series championship in one of the least viewed years in recent memory of NASCAR. Well, here it is, ladies and gentlemen. We are here for 2016. Here are 3 things to know. First of all, I am happy to say the strike is over. After 10 separate meetings between NASCAR officials and the group of drivers and teams that came together in the boycott, and they have finally settled it out. So most of the teams are back, and we are back to 43 car fields once again. But it did come at a bit of a price. We'll talk a little more during the starting lineup, but the big thing to note is that 3 teams have officially ceased operations. Those teams are Front Row Motorsports, Michael Waltrip Racing, and Dale Earnhardt Incorporated. All of Front Row Motorsports parts and pieces went over to Roush Racing. Michael Waltrip Racing's pieces and parts went over to BK Racing. And finally, DEI simply merged with Richard Childress Racing. It is still Richard Childress Racing, but that team is now back to a 4-car operation. And as for Dale Earnhardt himself, well, he is now helping out his grandnephew, Jeffrey Earnhardt. Again, we'll talk more about that in the starting lineup. And finally, it is the final year for Sprint as the title sponsor. We are yet to know who is going to sponsor the Premier Series after Sprint, but we will find that out later in 2016. So with the talks, there are some noticeable changes that are coming to this season of NASCAR. First of all, there is going to be a shift to less downforce. We still have the Gen 6 cars, but we will have a shrinking spoiler and we will have a shrink and splitter as well. NASCAR will continue to go through that process, but they want to be cautious with it so that they don't have any dramatic shifts in racing. NASCAR has eliminated the automatic cautions, so you will not see any of those weird random blown tires or weird mysterious debris or any of that automatic cautions with 20 to go stuff. You won't see any of that. Next one, and this is a big one, there is no more chase. The champion is now officially decided without a chase. So now instead of having 10 races matter, all 36 races matter. So now whoever wins the Daytona 500 here will have a good start to this 36 race long chase. 2 more left, and this next one's a big one. The race will finish under green regardless, meaning NASCAR will not have any control. The only way they'll control is if there is a severe enough crash on the final lap. Then what will happen is they will throw the caution flag in that lap, and they'll just redo it and do another green-white checkered. So we will have a good finish no matter what. And then finally, they got rid of the silly push to pass. Not going to explain this one much, it's just a silly rule, and they got rid of it. So with that being said, let's take a look at the starting lineup for the 2016 Daytona 500. Starting on pole is a new car. That is Clint Bowyer in the new number 1 5-Hour Energy Chevrolet for Stewart-Haas Racing. Clint Bowyer, as you know, left Michael Waltrip Racing because it closed, and now that team is a 4-car operation. To the outside of him is Denny Hamlin in the 11 car. Kyle Busch will start 3rd in the 18 M&M's car. Brad Keselowski is going to start 4th, and we have the debut of the new Dodge Dart this year. Joey Logano will start 5th. Starting 6th is Kevin Harvick, with Jimmy Johnson's coming on as an extended sponsor this year. Martin Truex Jr. is going to switch over to Toyota this year, and alongside with is Daniel Suarez. Daniel from Mexico moves over to the 4th Joe Gibbs Racing machine. He is a Rookie of the Year contender. Starting 9th is David Stremme, with new sponsor Ford EcoBoost coming along. And 10th is Jeffrey Earnhardt in the 3. Jeffrey Earnhardt replaces Jeff Burton in the number 3 ride, and Monster Energy moves over from the 41 car to the number 3 this year. Jamie McMurray moves over to the 2nd Rubber Yates Racing Ford, replacing Jerry Mayfield. McMurray brings McDonald's with as the primary sponsor, and his teammate Kurt Busch will start in 12th. Carl Edwards will start 13th in the 52 Stanley Dodge for H. Scott Motorsports. Casey Kane will start 14th. Farmers Insurance is the new official sponsor for Casey Kane and the 5 ride. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. will start 15th. Fastenal will be the sponsor on that ride. Matt Kenseth will start 16th. And Austin Dillon will start 17th. Dow will be the main sponsor for that ride. 2015 champion Jimmy Johnson will start 18th. Kyle Larson will start in 19th. Ryan Newman will start in the 20th position. Casey Mears will start 21st. And Ryan Blaney, Rookie of the Year contender, will drive to the 21 car for Wood Brothers Racing in 2016. Alex Bowman will start 23rd. He replaces Stephen Light, and Tax Slayer will be the sponsor on that machine. Tony Stewart will start 24th, and Stewart will sign a 3-year extension with the team, so he will be there through 2018. Jeff Gordon has 1 more year in the Cup Series, and then he's going to retire. Chase Elliott, as mentioned before, will replace him. Trevor Bayne in the Advocare 9 car will start 26th. Landon Castle in the 25 Mountain Dew Chevrolet will start 27th. And a new sponsor for Dale Earnhardt Jr. as Jr. moves over from RCR from the now debunked DEI. Nationwide Insurance is going to be the primary sponsor on that machine. Greg Biffle will be in his final year in Sprint Cup as well. Biffle does not like to be in this recent drama that NASCAR is in, and so after this year, Biffle is also pulling out of the Sprint Cup Series. AJ Allmendinger will start 30th. Justin Allgaier is going to come back for another year at H. Scott Motorsports. Eric Almirola in the 43 Dodge Dart will start 32nd, and Ryan Truex returns to the 41 Haas Innovation Chevrolet. David Reagan moves over to BK Racing in the 23 Dr. Pepper Toyota, and Brian Scott signs a 1-year deal with Richard Petty Motorsports. Regan Smith in the 7 car replaces Alex Bowman, and Michael Annett returns in the 46 Pilot Chevrolet. Getting to the rear of the field now, Michael McDowell is going to start 38th. Dakota Armstrong in the 53 Winfield Dodge. He is a Rookie of the Year contender and will be a 3rd H. Scott team for 2016. Cole Witt is going to start 40th in the 98 car. Matt DiBenedetto is going to start 41st. Cosmo Motors comes on and will be the full-time sponsor on that ride in 2016. Finally in the rear, Bobby Labonte is also in his final year in the Sprint Cup Series. Josh Wise comes back in the unsponsored machine, and he is seeking sponsors to run the rest of the 2016 season. For the final time, here is the first lap of the Daytona 500. Jump to lap 6 and we got great racing all the way around. It is so great to see 43 cars again together in one pack. On lap 19, Bobby Labonte falls off the pace and he could potentially fall a lap down in a matter of laps. On lap 21, Dale Jr. and Tony Stewart fall to the back of the pack, probably to avoid the big one. On lap 26, Austin Dillon is your leader, and he has one of the strongest cars here on track. Brad Keselowski follows suit in the second position. It looks like Austin Dillon was about to lap Bobby Labonte, but on lap 42, green flag pit stops begin. There's a little bit of jumble up in the back of the field, but fortunately nobody gets any damage and we stay green. However, the next lap, Jimmie Johnson actually loses a tire and he ends up crashing in turn 3, taking out Tony Stewart. Jimmie Johnson does go behind the wall. On the restart, Austin Dillon is your leader, Alex Bowman second, Ricky Stenhouse third, Jeff Gordon fourth, and Brad Keselowski is in fifth. Kevin Harvick ends up being your leader on lap 55, and David Sturmey ends up going into the second position. A couple of surprises come to the front of the field. Cole Witt and Michael Annett make their way up into the top 5. Could they play potential upsets in today's race? On the same lap at the back of the pack, Josh Wise cuts down a tire and he ends up spinning in turn 2, bringing out the second caution of the day. More pit stops take place and Kevin Harvick leads them off pit road. On the restart, it is Kevin Harvick your leader and Kyle Busch ends up being in the second position. On lap 105, another surprise, AJ Allmendinger moves to the front of the field. Kyle Busch stays in second, Michael McDowell moves up into the third position. Allmendinger does keep the lead as Kyle Busch and Denny Hamlin look low, and we got more problems. Aric Almirola slams into the inside wall a ton. Almirola is done for the day as the third caution comes out. Heavy crash down the back straightaway. As you see the replay there, Aric Almirola gets a lot of air as soon as he hits the inside wall. But fortunately he is okay and he does walk away from the scene of the accident. Not too sure how the wreck unfolded, but it might have been another down tire because nobody was near him. Brad Keselowski was close, but I don't think he contacted Aric Almirola at all. But as mentioned before, Aric Almirola is okay. More pit stops in lap 121, and AJ keeps the lead the entire time. So on the restart, AJ Allmendinger is in your leader. Denny Hamlin is second, Kyle Busch third, and how about Jeffrey Earnhardt in the 3 car is in 4th. Good racing here on lap 131 as Kyle Busch goes out into the lead. Allmendinger begins to fall back as Jeffrey Earnhardt and Jeff Gordon are about to battle it out. A new car has fallen off the pack, and that is Landon Castle. He loses the draft, and hopefully a caution comes in time so that he does not lose a lap. On lap 143, Jeff Gordon finally leads. It will be his final Daytona 500. Jeffrey Earnhardt follows soon behind, and Jeff Gordon has officially said he will not run any more Daytona 500s. Green flag pit stops take place here on lap 163 as McDowell and a few other cars come on in to make their service. On lap 172, after pit stops, Jeffrey Earnhardt does end up going to the lead and Landon Castle falls a lap down. But then the caution comes out on lap 173 as Daniel Suarez is slow in turn 3. There were reports that he did lose a cylinder, but he falls several laps down, but he does not fall out of the race. Final pit stops happen on lap 175, and Jeffrey Earnhardt and his pit crew get the job done, and he gets to restart out front. And he gets to jump in front of the pack as Kyle Busch and Kurt Busch are second and third, and Michael McDowell is up there in the top 5 as well. Getting to the end now, the Busch brothers are 1-2. Kurt Busch is your leader, Kyle Busch in second, Jeffrey Earnhardt in third, and Michael McDowell comes in front of the field. Michael McDowell almost blows over, and that takes out a ton of cars. Jeff Gordon is involved, Ryan Blaney is involved, Matt Kenseth, heavy damage to his car. What happened to Michael McDowell? His car just yacht to the right in front of the pack, and McDowell almost flipped over. Fortunately, he did not. Here are some replays. Boy, lots of air for that car. Keselowski also lots of air. Greg Biffle as you see spinning down to the inside, and lots of cars get into it. Daniel Suarez involved again. Dakota Armstrong spins out. On board with Brad Keselowski. Well, you don't really see what happened to McDowell. I'm pretty sure it was another tire issue for that car. But anyway, you hate to see this happen. Brad Keselowski does keep going. Casey Kane involved. McMurray gets in the back of Keselowski. So again, lots of damage for several cars. We do get a restart on lap 187, and the Busch brothers are 1-2. And so here are the final 2 laps to end the 2016 Daytona 500 as Clint Bowyer is your leader. And how about a couple of Earnhardts? Jeffrey Earnhardt and Dale Earnhardt Jr. are second and third. Can they get around the 1 of Clint Bowyer? Remember, number 1, that used to be a DEI number. And so here they come through turn 1, 2. Top 3 cars have now spread out from the rest of the pack. Michael Annett is in 4th spot. Could he upset here? But right now, Dale Earnhardt Jr. all over the back of Jeffrey Earnhardt Jr. I wonder if he's going to make a move himself. Or is he just going to push Jeffrey Earnhardt possibly? But guys, Clint Bowyer has had a strong car all race long. Dale Jr. boy, he is just swerving around trying to find any room whatsoever. But here they come to the line. Last lap here at Daytona. Clint Bowyer is still your leader, and look who's in 4th. Former DEI teammate Martin Truex Jr. He's made it into the 4th position. Earnhardt second and third. Can Dale Jr. get up to the bumper of Jeffrey Earnhardt? Does Jeffrey Earnhardt have enough skill to possibly get around Clint Bowyer? Down turn number 2, top 6 cars of single file. Landon Castle, he moves to the inside. Remember, Landon Castle is still a lap down, so he's not important. Here we go, to the inside. Jeffrey Earnhardt and Dale Earnhardt Jr. follow suit. Coming through turn number 3, Jeffrey Earnhardt. Could he get his first ever win at the Daytona 500? Dale Earnhardt Jr. is pushing Jeffrey Earnhardt to the line. Can Dale Earnhardt Jr. make a run around Jeffrey Earnhardt, or will he? Here they come to the line. Dale Jr., I think he's blocking for Jeffrey Earnhardt as he does so. And to the line, Jeffrey Earnhardt wins his first ever Daytona 500. Unbelievable. So RCR finishes 1-2 in the 2016 Daytona 500. And Jeffrey Earnhardt gets his first career win at the Daytona 500. Something that his great uncle took 20 years to do, Jeffrey Earnhardt does on his second try. So here are your top 5 for this year's Daytona 500. Jeffrey Earnhardt wins. Dale Earnhardt Jr. finishes second. Martin Truex third. Clint Bowyer finishes fourth. And Ryan Blaney finishes fifth. So there you have it. Something that I have started in January has finally put a close here in December. It has taken so long to finally get this done because of college, because of other projects, because of work, because I'm an adult now, and it's time for me to do adult things. But over the months when I've been doing this project, I've grown a love and an interest in doing these theories. What if Dale Earnhardt was still alive? Would Dale Earnhardt himself be more successful? Would he have had 100 wins? Would he have passed David Pearson? Would he have more championships? Who knows? Would DEI still be around? There are still so many questions that could be answered. What I showed to you guys was what I believe would happen in the most realistic way possible. And so now it's finally come down to the end here. So a couple more things before I sign off here. First of all, I will make one more video, and I'm just going to sit down and talk to you guys about this whole series. I will look through the comments on this video and all other previous videos of the Dale Earnhardt saga, and I will answer or delve further into your guys' discussions. And guys, one last thing, I am super excited for 2017. There are lots of new things coming out, and I can't wait to share it with you guys. So thank you guys again so much for the support over this year as my channel has expanded. Every like, every subscription means so much. And I'm speechless, guys. I thank you guys so much. So yeah, I'm going to sign off here. Thank you guys so much for watching. And as always, I will see you next time.